Good morning. So first thing I'm going to do is take a really nice deep breath. So you're welcome to join me in that if you would like to. And I'm going to do another one. That felt good. So a few months back, I was at the park with my son and my fiance, and we were having a really nice time. There's the river, and it's just this beautiful setting. And I was walking barefoot and getting my feet on the rocks and on the earth and in the water. And I was feeling myself in just an absolutely, totally present and very calm and grounded space. I mean, I did not have fear in my system at the time. I didn't have a lot of thoughts running. I just felt really, really present. And I preface that, or what I'm gonna share with that, because I do feel that this set me up for the experience that I had just maybe 10 minutes later. So we're walking along and enjoying our time, and then we were underneath the bridge and really grounding in there. And then we go up and we are walking over the bridge. Well, my son and my fiance are ahead of me a bit, and I'm walking across the bridge and I start to slow down because I feel this shift in energy. And I'm listening because I'm hearing sounds and tones, and it was really beautiful, but I was just very trepidatiously entering into it because I was like, well, maybe I'm just hearing music that's playing somewhere. So I asked my fiance, do you hear music? And he says, no. And as we are walking along, the sounds grow bigger and bigger and louder, and they genuinely are audible to my ears. They're not only inside of my like in terms of telepathy, but I was hearing them audibly on the outside. And I just had to stop because the sounds were so magnificent. They were angelic tones, and as the sounds built and built, it genuinely sounded like an angelic choir. It was so profound and moving, and I was looking around as this is happening, and I'm noticing that everything is like crystal-like. It was shimmering, and the colors, everything was popping, and it was almost as if the river and the birds and the trees around, everything was singing in this angelic chorus all together. And of course, I have tears going, and I am in a state of total awe. And I was asking at one point, is this really happening? And again, the colors everywhere were so bright, and it wasn't just bright, but it was like everything was shimmering in a way that I mean, I sometimes pick this up, but this was totally different, and especially with the sounds going. And I realized I was also in a state of extreme bliss, as if I was on something that created this type of sensation, you know, like some kind of plant medicine or some kind of mind-altering substance that would create this level of ecstasy. It was truly blissful. And I look around and I could see my son and my fiance up ahead, but I also felt that I was in a totally different space. And of course I was in many ways. And I actually don't know how many minutes passed, but I imagine in our realm it was only a few minutes, but I felt like I was in no time. There wasn't time for me in where I was, in the space I was in. But after what I imagined to be several minutes passed, and I was stopped on the bridge at that point and just taking this experience in, and was just mesmerized, and it started to calm down. The sounds got quieter. The angelic choir started to quiet down a little bit, and I realized that I had really been somewhere else, and I had to reorient because I truly was on a sort of high. I had to come back to this space, and I went up to be with my partner and son, who were playing up ahead. I realized that these two experiences were existing simultaneously, and at the same time it really felt like there was a vibrational separation. I'm putting that in quotations because obviously it wasn't really, but there was this sort of vibrational difference. And I did come to understand, with the help of a friend, that this was the new earth, or the fifth dimensional earth, because new earth is a bit misleading because it's already here, it's already in existence, it's just in a different dimensional existence and realm. So that was a remarkable experience, and I realized that we're all sort of oscillating between the different dimensions, and sometimes we go into this other space. I happen to have tapped into it in a way that I hadn't previously, in a way that was so, I was truly conscious of what was happening, that this was a very clear difference between, sometimes we have these little shifts and we recognize that things are, the colors are brighter or more sparkly, and that's can also be an indicator of where we are vibrationally. And of course our state of being, sometimes we can really feel that we're in this really joyful state and really blissed out state. That's also an indicator of being on the new earth, the 5D earth. But this particular time, it was like giving me a big dose of what that space is like and can be like, and the importance of being grounded and not being in a place, a state of fear. That was key. And of course, every time I get these glimpses and like a taste of this is what it's like, I work harder and harder to remove fear from my system, because holy moly. Wow, angel tones, and it's not just hearing it, but it was like I was feeling it, and it was inside of me, and it was also reflected in everything that was around me. Again, from the river and the birds overhead and the trees, it was like everything was just in this beautiful symphony, and it was all just singing in this angelic chorus. Yeah, I definitely want to work to have more of that. And so I am. And many blessings to all of you, and may you experience so many beautiful moments.